everyone, welcome to Preparing for Christ. My name is Terry, and man, I got some stuff to talk about today that is mind-boggling, to say the least. I know the big topic everybody's talking about are these protests that are going on over the death of George Floyd, the man who was killed there in Minnesota. So I want to start by saying I do not agree at all with what took place. That's wrong. And so everyone knows, who may have not seen yet or anything, the police officer who kneeled on his neck has been charged with murder. And where it goes from there, we'll see. The FBI is investigating it. So, you know, these people say they want justice. Well, then let justice play out. Let the courts and the law of the land do its work. And, you know, let the system do its job. Let this go to court and see what happens. These people are talking about protests. They're protesting that they want justice for what took place. And yet they are destroying these cities, completely destroying their cities. And this is happening all across the country now. It's not just in Minnesota. LA, Chicago, Indianapolis, New York, Dallas, the whole country. This is what the deep state is hoping for. They're wanting enough resistance and uprising from the people that they can enforce basically martial law, so they can get this socialist system into action. That's their ultimate goal. And this is just one more step for them to use. These people are not protesting for the right reasons. They're just out there destroying personal, private property, burning. Literally, there are whole city blocks in Minnesota that are burned to the ground, totally gone, entire city blocks. Here's an article I just found on USA Today. George Floyd protests, live updates. Car slams into San Jose protesters. More National Guard troops to be deployed to Minneapolis. Excuse me. Here's another one from The Express. The Pentagon scrambles military forces for deployment in U.S. streets following widespread riots. I'm going to read a little bit of this. The U.S. Pentagon has scrambled military police in a rare move that would see U.S. armed forces on American streets as unrest across the major cities continues to intensify following the death of George Floyd in police custody. They got a video on here. I'm not going to play that right now. If you guys want to check it out, it's on The Express. They're trying their best. There was I don't know the exact number, so I don't want to say it, but there was quite a few people who had been arrested in Minnesota who were not even from Minnesota. People from all across the country that have went to Minnesota to protest the death of George Floyd. But the truth of the matter is, George Soros is known for paying for these people to be bused, pay for hotel rooms, they pay for food, they pay for everything it takes. I mean, what would it take? I live in northern Indiana. What would it take for me to get in my car to go to Minnesota to protest? Well, let's see. I got to get in my car. I got to have gas. I got to eat. Minnesota's a ways off. You can't drive there and protest, turn around, come back. Well, I probably could in one day, but you don't sleep. So you got to have a place to sleep. You're not going to go there with just the clothes on your back and nothing else. So just think of the logistics and the money it takes for this. This is not, the average Joe like myself does not have it in their budget to go halfway across the country to protest. You might go protest in your local town or something, but these people go online and look at some of these videos that have been put out. They're just destroying everything. People's personal cars. People have nothing to do with this. There's thousands of people every night in their houses, locked in their houses, guns on the ready, because they don't know if people are going to come vandalize their home, try to steal their car, burn their car down, burn their home down. But they're protesting over this man's death? That's what you call protesting? No, that's civil disobedience. This is the devil's work, is what this is. People are so full of just evilness anymore. It's unbelievable. People don't want to have justice. They don't want to have, and let me say this, I shouldn't say all of them, not all of them. There are some who are protesting peacefully. But for the vast majority of them, they're not. They're just destroying cities. If you are willing to go out and literally burn the city you live in to the ground, your goal is not justice for George Floyd. I'm sorry, but it's not. Your goal is civil disobedience. Your goal is to do the devil's work because you are full of evil spirits. There's videos of people driving down the road and all of a sudden people just swarm their cars and just start smashing the windows out of their car. Now, you tell me what in the world those people had to do with any of this. Nothing. That's just evilness. That's just people being evil. People have an evil mindset anymore. They just live in a world of evilness. They're full of greed, disobedience, rebellion. It's unreal what you see taking places across. And this ain't just in Minnesota. This is across the country. They're doing it in LA. They're doing it in Minnesota. They're doing it in New York. They're doing it in Chicago. They're burning police cars and bashing police stations. They're spray painting graffiti everywhere. They're totally just destroying their cities. And all of this is because they want justice for George Floyd and the people who came before him who have, come to police brutality. I want to say something publicly right now. I live in Knox, Indiana, Stark County, Indiana. Our sheriff, this is public information, so I can say this. Our sheriff, Bill Doolin, I went to school with Bill. Bill, if you see this, thank you, sir. You're doing a very good job. I'm proud to call you my sheriff. And Harold Smith is the chief of police here at Knox. He does a very good job. I know these men personally, have known them all my life. Police officers here, police officers where you live, and police officers all across this country have an extremely stressful job. Extremely stressful. Yet they're men and women just like us. They're moms and dads. They are brothers and sisters. They're humans just like we are. They sin. They make mistakes. What took place in Minnesota is absolutely horrible. What's taken place across this country in circumstances just like this is absolutely horrible. There are some very horrible police officers, some very corrupt police officers. But for the vast majority, they are good, hard-working Americans that took an oath to protect me and you. And they're willing to put their life on the line to do so. You know, people don't talk about, look at years, and I don't remember when it was, years and years ago, the two men that robbed the bank in LA and had like a hour and a half shootout with the police. They had body armor, full auto AKs. They had a truck full of ammo in it. Look at how many police officers put their life on the line to stop that. Look at the kid that went in the church in Texas shooting people. The one that, I don't remember, is South Carolina, somewhere on the East Coast, went into a black church shooting people. Not only did civilians pick up their arms to go after these people, so the police officers, and they put their life on the line every day to do that. And there's thousands of these stories that take place that you or I never hear of because it happens in some little small town. You cannot put all of the police in one category. That's not fair. That's not right. It's not fair. Yes, there are some who are not legit and probably shouldn't even have a badge. But for the most part, most of them are good Americans. They are good, trustworthy, hardworking men and women who deserve a little respect. But what's taking place with these protests is absolutely unbelievable. They are destroying their cities. That'd be like no different than me getting in my car and going to town right now and destroying the city I live in, burning down my restaurants and gas stations and whatever, all the local stores and everything. Well, what are you going to do in a few weeks from now, folks, when you get over your little deal here and you have nowhere to go to get supplies or food? People are full of evil. They are doing the devil's work. They're full of evil. And the Lord is not going to sit back and just let this go on and on and on and on and on. And if you believe that He is, you need to stop for a minute, read your Bible, pray that the Lord will open your eyes to see what is coming, what's about to take place. The time is short, I'm telling you. You cannot sit back and keep believing that the Lord is not going to chastise this country. I've said it before and I'll say it again. One of two things I can guarantee you are going to take place in your time. One of two. Jesus Christ is going to return to this earth and put an end to all of this. And you and I both are going to stand before Him in judgment. Or you or I are going to die and we are going to stand before Jesus Christ for judgment. One of those two things are going to happen. And people can't seem to get that in their head. They seem to think this life goes on forever and there are no consequences to anything. I want to read the Bible to you. I'm going to read a couple things here to you. This is Romans, right here, the Holy Bible. People, just to make sure you see, I'm reading the Holy Bible here. This is Romans chapter 1, verses 28 through 32. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a debased mind to do those things which are not fitting. If you just keep rebelling and denying your Lord Jesus Christ, He'll give you over to the devil. Being filled with all unrighteousness, sexual immorality, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, evil-mindedness. They are whisperers, backbiters, haters of God, violent, proud boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, undiscerning, untrustworthy, unloving, unforgiving, unmerciful, who knowing the righteous judgment of God, that those who practice such things are deserving of death, not only do the same, but also approve those who practice them. These people that are out here burning places to the ground, destroying private property. Some of these, I seen a article the other day, a report that somewhere in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, there was a Target on fire, and the police or the fire department shows up to try to put the fire out, and they start shooting at them, shooting at the firemen, to the point they left and just let it burn to the ground. That's evilness. That's pure evilness. And they know it. They know what they're doing is wrong. They know in their heart that what they are doing is wrong. You are full of the devil. You are full of evilness. To be able to do these things and have no remorse for it, have it not bother your conscience or make you feel anything whatsoever, is wrong, absolutely wrong. And people need to. I don't know how you'd put a stop to this, honestly. One thing I wish I could have found the article is there were some fellas who got their ARs and their pistols and went into the city there in Minneapolis and started, and a lot of the owners themselves have picked up their own weapons to protect their property, protect their businesses. I mean, there's only so many police officers to go around. There's a lot of areas that they just can't get to, they can't respond to. You got tens of thousands of people protesting, and the police can't be everywhere at once. I've said it before on this channel, and I say it again. We all have a right to protect ourselves, to protect our property. We have a right to bear arms. You know, I have an AR rifle, I have a pistol, I have things to protect my family, and heaven forbid the day ever comes that we have to resort to such matters. But everyone has the right to protect themselves and their family and their property. And when you get people like this, these people that are just full of evilness, people who are willing to shoot at the fire department, shoot at police officers, who are simply trying to do their job and protect the public, protect private property, that's evil. That's pure evil. These people don't want justice. They're just full of evil. They're doing the devil's work. That's exactly what they're doing. And somehow, some way, Lord willing, it's going to stop. It's going to end. The Pentagon, as I said, is talking about sending troops. The National Guard's already been called out. But last night, the protesters, they called out the National Guard. They were shooting rubber bullets, tear gas, and everything else. And it didn't even faze them. They just kept coming and coming and coming. I believe to the point the National Guard had to pull back, had to retreat, basically. So now the Pentagon's talking about sending the U.S. military, the U.S. Army, the MPs, police, to these cities, to Minnesota, to, I believe it's L.A., I don't know, some of those bigger cities out there in California. It's crazy, folks. It's crazy. People need to, if you're a fellow Christian, a true Christian, I hope that the Lord will lay it on your heart to start telling other people about Jesus Christ. to try to lead them to the Lord. I'm one of the worst sinners a person could ever know. Maybe someday I'll do a video on my testimony and lay it all out for you guys. But I'm telling you, I know what it is to live in sin. 110%. I've been involved in alcohol, I've been involved in drugs, I've been to prison. I know what it is to live in sin. And had you asked me even 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, if I would be a Christian, or I definitely would never be sitting here doing this for you guys, we've got to get people to Jesus Christ. Tell your friends and family, subscribe, hit the like button, folks. God bless, and we'll see you soon.